Princess, your hand is really warm. Oh my god. Oh, this is getting weird. Oh! Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon, Rod's Root. So in the last episode, we were kind to Emmeline, and we finally got our first good deed. So it seems like Rod is starting to, you know, see Lucette in a nicer way, because she's not being mean to his sister. So hopefully, well, you know, we'll see what happens next. Also, once again, Alcaster and Mythos are being shady as hell. But Emmeline needs to be practicing her etiquette because she is gonna have a big ball where she's gonna try to find a fiance or a husband, which is arranged by the king. And she doesn't want to do that, obviously, so we're trying to help her learn all the etiquette stuff, so that she can go smoothly and we get a good deed at the same time. Later that day, I watched Emily finish her etiquette lessons. I could tell that the teacher is impressed with her progress. Emily is able to correctly name all the glasses and cutlery. She's not so slow a learner. I had come here earlier in that day to better teach Emmeline about proper dining etiquette. It turns out that my lessons was valuable. You have shown great improvement, Your Highness. I am glad that you have been diligent with your studies. No doubt you'll be ready for the ball soon. Emmeline smiles, her cheeks turn pink. Thank you. I wouldn't have done it without the help of a friend. Emmeline glances at me briefly and smiles gently. I really owe her a lot. That is wonderful. I'm so glad you have such a dedicated friend, Your Highness. Friend? Is that really what I am to her? But princesses do not have maids as friends. As royals do not mingle with the commoners, especially not with servants. Mother told me that before. Girl, you need to realize your mother's a bitch. Emmeline does not treat me as a maid, but she cannot possibly think of me as a friend. After the teacher gives Emmeline several books to study for their next lesson, she has the lessons to excuse herself. Emmeline approaches me and grasps my hand. Thank you so much, Lucette. I wouldn't have passed without your help. All I did was repeat the things your teacher taught you. But you're different. I raise an eyebrow at her. Different? I tend to get nervous with my lessons. My teachers are strict and intimidating. I cave beneath under pressure. But with you, well, I feel more comfortable around you. It's probably because we're almost the same age and your lessons feel more casual. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful. She looked down at the ground shyly. I hope it's alright that we're friends. I furrowed my eyebrows at her. Why would you even want to be friends with a maid? You're supposed to be making friends with nobles, and not the servants. Emmeline frowns, and I can feel her deflate. She walks towards the window and sighs. I tried. They may not say anything, but I can feel them slightly judging me. I wasn't born a princess, and I felt that they judge everything I do. They think that I smile too much, that I'm not regal enough. They feel that I'm too clumsy or too cheerful. Well, Emmeline definitely does not act like a noble. I cannot say I blame the nobles for being skeptical of her. Being with them suffocates me. I do my best to act like a princess, but by the way they're all looking at me, it's as if they're waiting for me to make a mistake. Then they'll all have an excuse to jeer at me. Every girl's dream of becoming a princess, and yet this is not my dream. I really just miss being a normal girl. I miss my freedom. I looked at her thoughtfully. I think I can understand what Emmeline is feeling. Just like me, she is thrown into a world she's not ready to be a part of. Right now, we have no choice but to fit in. Man, poor girl. You can tell, like I said earlier, that's what I was predicting. Because Rod said that his sister isn't happy. And I imagine that it's just because she's forced to be a princess and she didn't want that. She never wanted my title in the first place, yet I accused her of stealing it. Have you told your mother about how you feel? Emmeline shakes her head. No, not the king either. I don't want her to think that I'm ungrateful. That's why I'm trying my best to become accustomed to all of this. I cross my arms. But you aren't happy. I'm not. Everyone just assumes that I'm happy because I smile a lot. Oh no, this girl! I feel so bad for her. She's barely opening up to anyone, and yet she opened up to me. Have I been given this choice before I was cursed? I would never have listened to her. You should tell them how you feel rather than keeping it to yourself. Otherwise, the stress will continue to accumulate your shoulders. I wish I could be more honest with them. I really do. I envy you for being able to speak your mind. She envies me? Emmeline takes a deep breath and sighs. The frown fades with a sigh and is quickly replaced with a fragile smile. I'm sorry for ranting to you like that. I must have bored you with my story. I used to get so annoyed with her, but now I have seen the side of her. I suppose she's not terrible as I first thought. Oh, I remember Mother wanted to see me after my lessons today. Allow me to escort you to the Queen then. Thank you. Okay. Oh man, I feel bad for her. You could totally tell she's really depressed. Days pass without any real conflict. I run into Sir Alcaster again in the hallways, but his eyes pass over me as I am something to be ignored. Delora, who's been ignoring me, has been busy with other priorities. Returned to the Martian yesterday to discuss something important with Parfait. It is not as if she's been any help ever since she came here. She's mostly staying in her room while I run around doing errands for Emmeline and taking on other chores as they are handed to me. Right now, I am headed to the palace gates, and I hurry to meet Emmeline. She is going out of town to meet Viorica again, and I was told to meet her here. Lucette! I turn around to see Fritz walking in my direction. Oh, Fritz! Ever since I told him to refer to me by my name, he has been stumbling over not to use my title. I rarely see him, but when I do, we do not have much time to discuss anything. Can I help you with anything, Fritz? It's been a while. Have you managed to complete one of your good deeds? Days after I originally had run into Fritz, I managed to have a quick conversation about him regarding my curse. It had been a long time since we had since that conversation happened. Recently, I had barely seen Fritz. I hear rumors that he has been reassigned somewhere outside the palace. I wonder if it's because the father knows now that Mythos probably told him that Lucette is cursed. I show him my pendant and point to the piece on the second glass slipper. I managed to get one several days ago. Lucette, that's wonderful! I knew that you could get one. Only 2 more that I can break this curse. Ah, Fritz, Miss Lucette. I did not think that you two were acquainted. We both turn our heads at the same time when Mythos suddenly appears from around the corner. The usual smile on his lips. Ugh. Sir Mythos? Fritz, I believe Sir Alcaster's looking for you. Right, sorry, Lucette. I must take my leave now. Of course. Oh god, is this going to interrogate us? Fritz bows to Sir Mythos before walking off, leaving me alone with Sir Mythos. Mythos does not say anything, but continues to smile at me. His staring makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable. Ugh, stop! Is there something on my face? Excuse me. I curse and start to walk off when Sir Mythos calls my name. Lucette? Yes? I just wanted to thank you for your hard work and your dedication to our princess. I look at him, puzzled by his sudden gratitude. Don't worry, everything will soon be remedied. Ew, why is he looking at her like that? Excuse me? My apologies, I did not mean to keep you. He completely ignores my question. He dips his head slightly before turning and walking away, the smile still on his face. What was that all about? Rod and Emmeline are already waiting for me outside the carriage by the time I arrive at the palace gates. Rod has his arms crossed and he looks at me, irritable. His face is perpetual, stuck in that scowl, it seems. You're late. My apologies. You're so grumpy, but you've been late many times before too, Rod. Rod just shrugs his shoulders and turns his head into the carriage. Emmeline sighs before looking to me. Shall we? Of course. It's nice that Lucette and Emmeline are getting along now, that's good. The 3 of us sit in silence as the carriage rolls towards town. The knights assigned to our guard duty is sitting in front with the driver, watching for any disturbances. Emmeline glances forlornly out the window, while Rod silently looks at the other as he rests his chin on the palm of his hand. I notice Emmeline is pausing to glance at Rod every now and then, looking restless. Finally, she breaks the silence. Are you still mad that I asked you to come along to visit Viorica? You could have declined the invitation, Rod. And if you would only tell me what happened between the 2 of you, I would do my best to remedy the situation. Rod notices me looking at him and scowls. He returns his moody gaze out to the window. I have nothing to say, But you used to be good friends with Viorica too, Rod. But then, ever since you were... Emmeline stopped herself, but I know that she's referring to his curse. After that day, you kept your distance from her. Then, you found out about the wedding. You became even colder towards her, because you fucking probably loved her, right? Even Viorica's worried about you, Rod. She worries that she might offend you somehow. Emmeline... There's a hint of warning in his tone. Is it possible that Viorica is related to Rod's curse, considering the timing? Ooh, I didn't think about that, maybe. Emmeline opens her mouth again to say something, but then suddenly stops and returns to the window, her expression mirroring Rod's own gloom. We are all silent until we arrive at the toy shop. Emmeline, good to see you again, and you too. Lucette, was it? I nod in acknowledgement. Vairika nods politely at the knight, who stands guard at the shop door. It's just the two of you today? Emmeline and I both turn around to only see that Rod has indeed vanished. Emmeline frowns, looking both bewildered and disappointed. He was right behind us. I will go look for him. Thank you, Lucette. Alright, let's see what the hell's he doing now. Just as I expect, Rod is leaning against the wall of the alleyway just outside the toy shop. Stay with him? I can tell by Rod's stiff posture that anything I will say to him will fall off deaf ears, so I move and stand next to him instead. I lean against the wall with him. What are you doing? Keeping you company? Rod raises an eyebrow at me. Since when have you even liked my company? Well, I'd rather be here than stay inside like toy shop and listen to Emmeline and Vairika talk. So you're not here to try to get me to talk? It's not that you would answer any of my questions. I have tried forcing you to talk, and I know how ineffective it is. But I will be here if you do want to talk. Rod eyes me suspiciously. Since when did you start listening to others? Ooh, I got it right! Okay! When you are the personal mate of someone who enjoys talking, you learn to listen. Emmeline has been happier these past few months. I hate to admit it, but it seems it's because of you. Are you actually praising me? Rod looks away, his cheeks tinted pink. Think whatever you like. Do not know why, but for some reason I'm happy that Rod gave me a compliment. Hey, that's good. At least they're being friendly. Princess Lucette! Rod and I turn around to a familiar voice. Waltz pauses in front of us with a bright smile. It's nice to see you again, Princess. Waltz, what are you doing here? Well, I was about to deliver a letter to the prince, but I guess that won't be necessary anymore. A letter? Is it Lady Perfect asking for me? No, not just you. She wants to see the princess as well. Me? It's been a while since I was last at the Martian. Is something wrong? They need to discuss something important with the princess. Come to the Martian tonight. Tonight? But we're already here. Why not now? Walt's eyes shifts to our carriage. You are with Princess Emmeline, yes? You can't make her wait too long. What they need to discuss with you is complicated and will take some time to explain. The toy shop opens again and Emmeline stands in the doorway as she says her goodbyes to Vairika. Remember, tonight. These are Waltz's last words before he slips back into the crowd. Okay, I wonder what I assume it's about my throats, that's what I'm assuming. Emmeline's visit with Vairika was briefer than I thought it would be. Now all of us are heading back to the palace. Rod has not uttered a word on our way back. I can tell that this is making Emmeline agitated, as she continues to keep glancing at Rod expectantly. If you have something to say, say it. Emmeline stares at me. You obviously want to say something to Prince Rod. The only way to get your answer is if you ask him directly. Rod does not turn around. It is as if he does not hear me. Emmeline clasps her hands and sighs. Well... I glance at Rod, who is persistently staring out the window. His eyes are focused on nothing. He is pretending not to hear us. How immature. Rod? Vairika was sad that you weren't there today. She was certain that you stayed outside to avoid seeing her. What's wrong? What's going on with you? I am not in the mood to answer your questions, Em. Emmeline grips the edges of her dress, her expression becoming more rigid. You've been keeping secrets from us ever since you were cursed. We don't even know why you were cursed or how to help it break it. Wait, the rest of the family doesn't know anything about the circumstances of Rod's curse? I thought that he told them everything, but all they know is that he is cursed. Oh, huh. We're family! We're supposed to help each other through problems! Emmeline's hands are shaking as she gazes at her brother. The carriage stops, and as soon as the servants open the door, Emmeline quickly steps out and rushes back towards the palace. Rod watches her quietly go, though his eyebrows are furrowing and he looks guilty. I silently shake my head at him before running after Emmeline. Oh no. Emmeline stands in the hallway with her hands to her chest. She's breathing slowly in and out, as if she's on the verge of tears. When she notices me behind her, she turns away and wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. I'm so sorry for throwing me off like that. I was just very frustrated at Rod. I said something I shouldn't have back there. If anyone finds out about this... They won't. Your secret is safe with me. Emmeline flashes a grateful smile before looking to the sky. One moment, Rod is running down the hallway. The next, he has stopped in front of us and is trying to catch his breath. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too, Rod, but right now I would like to be alone. Of course. I'm sorry, Lucette, but could you leave me for now? She doesn't even wait for my answer before walking away. leaving me alone with Rod. You made her cry, Rod. I'm fully aware of that. Why are you hiding your curse from your family? You wouldn't understand. I'm doing this to protect them. Protect them? Rod suddenly shakes his head. They wouldn't understand. What does that mean? I don't even understand, dude. You can't just walk off like that. Those are the last ominous words Rod speaks before rushing off, leaving me alone in the hall. What happened to him? The hallways are silent at this time of night as most everyone in the palace prepares for bed. I am on my way now to meet our meeting place. Rod told me earlier to wait for him there. I had thought he would make me go to the Martian by myself after what transpired with Emmeline, but I was wrong. Emmeline was so upset today. I have never seen her like this before. I turned my thoughts back to the Martian and to what Walt said earlier. I wonder what Parfait wants to talk to us about. I feel my heart beating erratically against my chest. Why do I feel like something bad is going to happen? I realized that I have been standing in an open for a while. Perhaps I should move? People might find my standing here suspicious. I start walking again and I'm surprised when I feel a hand close around my wrist and pull me into the darkness. I open my mouth but the hand muffles my scream. Shh! Rod? Rod's gaze is icy. He speaks quietly, but I can feel the anger simmering underneath his words. What if someone saw you just standing there? Have you ever thought about how they might get suspicious? His tone is so accusatory that, for a moment, I cannot find my voice. But then, he's right. I should have been more careful. Sorry. Rod stares at me surprised. What? I never thought I'd hear you apologize, especially to me. Oh, well, at least I know how to apologize, unlike you. And why would I ever have a reason to apologize to you? Because you've done nothing but treat me coldly, even when I have done nothing to personally attack you. Rod scowls at me but does not say anything. Instead, he sighs and takes my hand, pulling me after him. Alright, what's happening now? What? Let's go before the guards see us. I have no energy to argue with Rod, so I allow him to pull me along. I'm sorry. What? He apologized to me? Don't make me repeat myself. I did not hear you clearly. If there's one thing I know about you, it's that you're not deaf. Of course I'm not. Shh, someone will hear you. I glare at Rod, but he does not respond. Princess, your hand is really warm. Oh my god. Oh, this is getting weird. Ah! Rod freezes in place and glares at Sebby, who seems to be shrugging. Your thoughts are too loud, Rod. Though the dim lights, I can see a faint blush on Rod's cheeks. You are blushing. I am not. He lets go of my hand and starts to walk towards the secret passageway with me trailing behind him. We looked around to make sure no one is in sight before we slip inside. I followed closely behind Rod in silence. My eyes moved upwards to the little bunny plush hanging on his shoulder. Sebby, I've been wondering, have you ever talked with Rod's family as yourself? Rod suddenly stops and scowls over his shoulder at me. What? I'm asking Sebby, not you. No, I don't, Princess. Rod doesn't want me to talk with others since he thinks that I might say something unnecessary. So much for that. You still speak, even when it's unnecessary. In the dim lights of the tunnel, I can see a faint pink on Rod's cheeks. It's probably a trick of the strange lighting. Rod is right. Sebby has blurted out his thoughts more than a number of times. You're not doing a very good job. What do you mean by that? Ugh. Okay, you're not doing a good job. Sebby sighs. How can I know when Rod is here thinking too loudly? It makes my head ache. You get headaches? That's not the point. The point is that when he thinks on something too long, his head becomes cloudy and really full, like it's going to explode. That's why I got to explain it to him. He's not good at expressing his thoughts, so I... Oh, okay. Rod cuts off Sebby by pinching his cheeks. Ow, 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 ow! Okay, I'll stop talking now. Rod says and continues walking. Rod, have you spoken to Emmeline since that earlier incident? No. As much as I want to ask him about his curse, I doubt that he will divulge anything right now. I decide to keep my thoughts to myself as we head to the Martian. When we arrive to the Martian, Parfait and Delore are there to welcome us. The others, however, are nowhere in sight. It's been a while, Princess. Thank you for bringing her safely here, Prince Rod. Where is everyone? They're all resting in their rooms right now. It wasn't necessary that they be here for what Delore and I want to discuss with you. I will be staying at the tavern then. Rod is about to head out to the tavern before Delore stops him. You don't have to leave. What we're going to say involves you too, since you are staying at the palace as well. Rod looks at her curiously but has asked no questions. Parfait and Delore gesture over to the settee, where we take our seats. This is something Rod and I must know because we're in the palace? I have a bad feeling about this. Before we start, I would like to congratulate you on your first good deed, Princess. Delore told me all about it, and I can see the extra piece on your necklace as well. Parfait smiles at me, her eyes filled with pride, her faith in my rekindledness and dwindling confidence I had. If only you'd seen how happy Delora was when she announced it to us. You didn't have to go into specifics, Perfect. Oh, are you embarrassed, Delora? She smiles at Delora teasingly before turning back to me. Anyway, I know you can do it, Princess. Only 2 more to go and you can break your curse. Yeah, you keep up the good work, Princess, and you too, Rod. So, what is it you wanted to discuss with us? I conducted a little investigation while I was with Lucette in the palace, and I found something important. Something important? I discovered that there is a witch in the palace. Oh, okay, this is about Mythros. A witch? In the palace? I felt a tingling of magic while I was there. It was faint, but definitely there. I don't remember feeling it before when I was there as your doll, Princess. It seems that the witch is using a glamour to hide himself or herself from us. A glamour is a magic that only his very experienced witches can cast, which means the witch we are dealing with is no ordinary witch. They have the potential to be very powerful, but what would a witch be doing in the palace in the first place? This witch could be after the king, but what? Parfait and Delora glanced at each other, looking conflicted. It is Parfait who faced me first, her expression grave. I'm afraid there is some other possibility we must make you aware of, Princess. And in order for us to explain it, we must give you the truth. Oh, is this about the mother? I think they're gonna explain the mother, right? The truth? My only answer is silence. I shift my gaze to Rod, but he avoids my eyes. What is going on? Princess, it's very likely that this witch in the palace is looking for you. What? I cast a glamour slur on you a long time ago so that you could remain hidden from magical eyes. I did it to protect you, but this witch in question can see through the spell I've casted on you. It is my belief that they are actively looking for you. I close my eyes and massage my temples of my head as I feel a headache coming on. Wait, you said before that the witches want to see their curses unbroken, but if this sounds as if they have another motive altogether. What reasons could they have for trailing me? The Tenebrae has been without a bearer for a long time, ever since the end of the war. A new bearer, however, will soon arise, and the crystal is ready to support them. Some of the witches, the wicked ones, want them to make sure that the Tenebrae continues to spread darkness, even with a new bearer in charge. Okay, but what does that have to do with me? Delora crosses her arms, her expression grim. The title of the bearer is passed down from one descendant to the next. Princess, the last Tenebrae bearer was the late Queen of Angielle, your mother. I feel my blood go cold. What? As the queen's daughter, you are the next heir. Come your 18th birthday, you will inherit the title of the Tenebrae bearer. Mother? A witch? Impossible. Why would you spout such lies? I narrow my eyes at them, searching for a hint that they're lying to me. Delora and Parfait never turn their sad eyes away from me. Rod glances at me briefly before turning away, looking uncomfortable. Hildur, right? That's her name. Hildur. Your mother and I used to work together to maintain balance, but the witch hunt drove her mad and turned her heart to ice. But she never used any magic. I would have known if she was a witch. It is possible that you did in the past, but then it seems that she erased all your memories of her true identity. Delora was able to assent to that most of your memories of her had been snatched away. Hildur needed you to remain obedient, so when you finally did inherit the role of bearer, you would continue to do as she wanted. My thoughts feel as if they're spinning endlessly on an axis. The real reason I cursed you was to see if you truly are capable of goodness, Princess. Hildur influence clung to you even after her death, and we feared that you would continue to her previous work. That Angielle might once again fall into darkness if you were not able to help the dark emotions in your heart. So you cursed me because you were terrified of what I would do if I would become the bearer as I was? My only answer is silence. Now I understand why people hated me. It was because of my mother. Cannot help but reach out the torch of my pendant on my necklace as I feeling the dread wash over me. We know that there is goodness in you, Princess. We only wanted you to realize that by breaking your curse. Parfait sighs, looking guilty. It was such a selfish act on our part, I know. But we cannot risk another great war. They believe that I would have plunged the world into war? I turned to Rod, who has yet to speak since our conversation started. Did you know about all this? Everyone knows about the story of the Tenebrae witch and her daughter, except for me. I glanced at my hands, suddenly feeling numb. I am a witch, and I will become the Tenebrae next bearer. Just the thought of it makes me sick. I think back to my childhood. I can still recall the glares that everyone gave me when I was a child. They were scared of me because I was my mother's daughter? And what about the king? Did he never love me because I was the daughter of a witch? But if that's the case, if my mother was so wicked, then why did the king marry her in the first place? Hildur threatened to kill the woman that he loved if he did not marry her. Oh my gosh, okay, so I was right. Because we didn't really hear about this in Karma's Root. Okay. She threatened to kill Ophelia. Ophelia? So the king had loved Ophelia from the beginning? I clenched my hands into a tight fist. After mother died, he was able to reunite with his true love, and since then he has treated Emmeline and Rod better than he has ever treated me, even though I am his daughter by blood. I want to feel angry about this revelation, but instead of feeling dreary emptiness inside of me, a heavy feeling begins to settle in my chest, suffocating my heart. He never really loved me. Lucette? Rod's voice snaps me out of my thoughts, and that is when I realize that a stray tear has made it down my cheek. I quickly wipe it away in the back of my hand, angry for myself for showing weakness in front of them. You must be happy to see me like this. What? Your mother made queen, and you and your sister became royals overnight. It's something out of a fairy tale, isn't it? You thought that you had a perfect life until I came back into it. I never asked for this to happen. I just wanted to. Rod suddenly moves his hand to Sebby's mouth, muffling whatever other words the plush was going to say for him. What is it you want to say, Rod? It's nothing. I can assure you, however, the power that comes with the crown has always been irrelevant to my family and I. So stop assuming that everyone around you is after your title or your riches. Did your time with my sister not teach you anything? I am about to get angry retort when I suddenly stop. My heart is sinking. I have already recognized that Emmeline is more complex than I thought she was, and she has told me that she had never wanted to be a princess. My mother wouldn't have married the king if my father were still here. Dula looks between the two of us and sighs. And here I thought your relationship has improved. Now it seems like you're back to square one. I cross my arms and turn away annoyed. Do you have anything else to add, Parfait? If not, I would like to return to the palace. Princess, stay vigilant and be careful about who you trust. Trust? How do you know whom I trust? What makes you think I even trust you? The anger that I was expecting earlier suddenly rises up to the surface. For all I know, Parfait and Delora could be feeding me lies, playing with me the way Delora did when she first cursed me. I don't expect you to believe what you've been told. Perhaps it was not yet the right time to reveal anything to you, but please, you need to be careful. I stand up and look at them. My arms are hanging limply to my sides. How am I meant to trust anyone when all of you have been lying to me this entire time? You said, if you don't believe us, then try asking the king who Hildur truly is. I never even thought about asking about the king about my mother. Rod, you should watch your back too. It is possible that the witch in question could be plotting something against the royal family as well. They have been in the palace for a long time after all. She looks at me and then Rod, her expression somber. I won't be able to stay with you anymore. I had to pick up and leave a few days ago because I was certain that he caught the trace of my magic. He probably already has. I understand. Anyway, Lucette, it's right to return to the palace right now. Someone may notice your absence if you're gone much longer. You two should leave now. Let us know if you notice anything unusual. I will. We'll see you again soon, Princess. Remember, stay vigilant. Okay, so I'm gonna end the episode here. That was interesting. We got to learn a little bit more about the mother and like what really happened, why she married the king and stuff like that. So that's nice. It's different from each route, I can tell already, and I like that. I don't like that it repeats the same kind of thing. So that's very nice. I appreciate that. It's getting a little bit weird with Rod and Lucette because he seems to be developing a crush on her, so I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable. But other than that, this was an interesting part of the story. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Cinderella Phenomenon, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the companions. And if you guys would like to support me on Patreon, there's a link in the description where you can check it out. You get early access to videos for Patreon only, the Discord server to come talk to me, and a bunch of other cool stuff. Or if you would like to check out my store, I really appreciate that as well. Alright, so hopefully we're getting close to the end of this, because we're on chapter 6. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!
I can't just let you go and kill yourself after that performance.
What the fuck does that mean? Ah! Ah! Ew! What the fuck?
I want to know.
This is too sweet. It tastes like shit. You have bad taste. I don't even know how to start explaining how wrong you are. Who gets to put the pizza